Welcome to DBSync's Partner Series, where we share the invaluable insight our partners bring when successfully implementing products and services for their clients. In this year's first segment in this series, we're discussing the trends or sort of the latest and greatest that our partners are focusing on and the benefits of partnering together to meet these demands in these constantly changing times. So we're excited to highlight a little bit more about what our partners are doing, dig a little deeper, discover the trends they're focusing on, maybe why and what they're looking forward to ahead. And then lastly, hopefully confirm the benefits of partnership in being prepared to meet all of these challenges. So I feel like that's enough introductions. Let's just dig right in. I have the pleasure of speaking with Kim Wren today. She is the Senior Director of Business Development at SkuVault. SkuVault's been in the DBSync, I would say, orbit for a few years now.
Yes.
You can certainly correct me if you have the exact, month, date, time, hour that we've been there. Certainly let us know, Kim. But we'd like to know a little bit more about what you do, how you do it, and maybe give us a little hint about kind of what you think is what you're most famous for, most proud of, or something that you feel kind of just sets you at the top of your game.
Sure. So thank you very much for having us and for talking to us today. I really appreciate it. So to give you a little bit of an idea of who SkuVault is and what we do, SkuVault is a cloud-based inventory and warehouse management system that was designed for e-commerce sellers by e-commerce sellers. And our goal is to help you track what's going on in your warehouse to make sure that you can fulfill orders very quickly. And by fulfill, I mean, when that order comes in, we want you to be able to find your product. And we hear this constantly. People don't have a good way of tracking where their product is, or they're using a spreadsheet. They're relying on their memory. And that doesn't work as you grow and as you scale up and as you add people. How do you know where everything is? And additionally, you want to make sure that you're picking and packing the right product all the time. So with our scanning capability, you make sure that you get to the product that you need to very quickly, but also that you're scanning out the right product in the right quantity for the right order every single time, so that you're not creating misships, you're not sending the wrong product, which is obviously an issue, and then creating a return situation for yourself.
Fantastic. So then is that, I mean, obviously I would feel like that's something that would sort of set you apart from the rest, but anything in particular that you feel really is, either your slogan, your mantra?
I would say, what really sets us apart is the scanning aspect is big for us, but also the QC. So within the SkuVault system, you have the ability to scan 3 different points. And so you can really drill down and make sure that you're getting the right product out. But we are a little different in that we are warehouse management with inventory management, and you're going to run across one or the other a lot in this industry that is designed for the SMB. We are designed with your warehouse in mind and everything that's going on in the walls of the warehouse. And then in addition, we have the ability to connect your inventory to all of your different marketplaces so that we can push the correct quantities all the time in real time and make sure that you're keeping the correct quantities everywhere constantly. So if you sell something on Amazon and then you sell another item on your website, it all comes in to SkuVault. We update the quantities completely and send it back out all in real time. So within just a minute or two, everything goes back out with the correct quantity everywhere. And you can keep track of your inventory without having to have a manual process. In addition to that, we're watching what's going on in the warehouse. So a lot of companies are going to tell you that they do inventory management. And a lot of times what they mean is an order comes in, they deduct a quantity and they push that number back out. What we're doing is we're looking at everything that happens with that piece of inventory. So the order comes in, we make an adjustment, but you received something, we made that adjustment. Somebody took something out of the system within the back end because they found something broken. We make that adjustment. And then we send the correct number back out. And this all happens within seconds within SkuVault, and then goes back out. So you have a complete view of what's going on within your inventory for every single item all the time. And it's accurate everywhere.
Invaluable.
Yes.
Okay, so I imagine then to make sure that's done, You've got to constantly be on your toes, paying attention to not only, like we said, the latest and greatest, but also planning ahead. So first, give us a little bit of a sense of kind of how do you approach, like how do you know what to look for? How, obviously you have a goal to do what you're doing, so you know, okay, we got to accomplish these things, but in trying to stay ahead of the market, what is it that, how do you get those ideas, and how do you kind of decide on, okay, this is what we're going to focus on?
So for us, what we're focusing on is we're looking for, the new players that are coming into e-commerce that are trying to figure out how to get organized and how to get their warehouse set up correctly. It just amazes me how many people come to us literally doing $20 million and they're operating off of a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And so we're looking for those people. It makes me speechless because it just makes me breathless when I think about it. It's such hard work for them.
Yeah.
But so we're looking for those people that are looking for a way to organize, that have mispicks, that they're shipping the wrong item, just 2 or 3 items a week. If you have an average order size of $50 and you're shipping a couple orders out incorrectly every week, you're costing yourself somewhere between $150 and $300, depending on how you handle your misships. So
Not
it's a
good.
lot of money every week. And now you're into the thousands of dollars a month for misships. Plus you made a customer mad and they're probably never coming back. Or they're telling 5 other people that you screwed up their order and, look at what happened here. So those are some of the things that we look for. We have a lot of other features that we push out there. We can help you juggle inventory as far as being able to manage a number very specifically, to the point that we have a buffer system that can allow you to oversell a product if you know that your manufacturer or your supplier can get you your product immediately, or if you are the manufacturer and you don't have to keep your inventory in stock. We can help you with that. We can also help you with keeping a number set so that you have a reserve. If you have a hot seller, and especially on Amazon and especially around the holidays, things can sell out literally in seconds, and no system can keep up. And anybody that says they can is crazy, because it's not possible. The APIs can't keep up with it. The systems can't talk to each other fast enough for it. So you need to hold a few items back, and we allow you to do that. And you can drill that down to a single SKU. You can take it all the way up to a platform, or you can take it all the way across your entire inventory. And it's very granular. You can do whatever you want with it.
Gotcha. Now, sort of thinking ahead, or for either towards the end of this year, or maybe you're already planning for 2023. Like we said, tech changes on a dime, so you have to be prepared. But kind of what are you working on, or like what challenges are you thinking you might be looking for ahead? Just kind of trying to anticipate where folks want to be and what they're going to want within the coming year or two.
So one of the things that we've been working on, and it is out now, it came out of beta earlier this year. I actually believe we still have a lot of clients testing it, but that is 3PL and working with SMBs in 3PL. What we're seeing is a lot of, we've been partners a long time, and you've been in this industry a while. There's a lot of companies in this industry who were previously resellers, and they've kind of been displaced by what's going on. So they have this warehouse space, and what do they do with it? Well, a lot of them are turning part of that warehouse space into space where they're fulfilling for other people. And so SkuVault can help them with that. And it still allows them to operate, if they're creating their own brands, creating their own product, still reselling partially, it still allows them to operate their own business. But in addition, they can operate the 3PL and keep everything separate. So the way that we have set this up is that our system allows you to bolt on this 3PL that we have in addition to the regular SkuVault. And now you have reporting available, so you can separate everything out for all of your 3PL clients. Your 3PL clients can then have a login and get in and see exactly what's going on with their inventory, and their inventory only within your account. They don't see anything else. And you don't have to constantly keep them updated. It gives you reporting capability, so you can pull reporting out very easily to go ahead and create the bills that you need to create. And so this is something that we've seen a big need for. And we had naturally had a lot of clients that were already doing this
Mhm.
simply because our system was really already set up for it with the multi-warehouses. It didn't have the reporting capabilities. It didn't have the ability for somebody to get in and only see their product.
Right.
And so that's where we've separated it out and created this whole new system for 3PLs to be able to handle this. And it's really pretty awesome for that slice of business to be able to use. 3PLs are up and coming, they're growing, they're
Mhm.
they're growing so fast.
Yeah.
It's such a big deal. And especially I do believe, with the cost of shipping right now,
Right.
with where it's at, if you're in New Jersey and your products are not located maybe in Nevada, you might want to ship pallets or truckloads or partial truckloads out to Nevada to a 3PL or something and have inventory on the East Coast and the West Coast rather than everything in the East Coast or everything in the West Coast. Because when you cross those mountains, everything goes up a lot in price and
Right.
shipping's already pricey,
Right.
but crossing the mountains makes it worse.
It's true,
So
we don't think
that's
of that, but you're right, of course, that's gonna
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it becomes that breaking point, getting it over there. And that's one of the biggest trends that we're going to see, I think, in the next couple of years.
Mhm.
We're just looking ahead to see what our customers need and, how can we help them grow? We're looking at what integrations do we need to add? What do we need to add on? What do we need to grow? How do we need to make Amazon better, eBay better, and just put additional pieces into that? But
Mhm.
we're also looking heavily at how we can help our clients as far as working with agencies and how we can really do a better job of showing them what an agency can do for them. So those are some of the directions that we're looking at for the next year or so.
Yeah, wow, and I think that's that kind of leads us directly into to accomplish those goals, gonna need some good partnerships, no doubt.
Yes,
We know you've
yes.
got some already, we're proud to be one of them, but I just was curious, I think you sort of hinted at it, but you were, give us a little bit more of a sense of what you consider to be a good partnership, like what does part not only I already got a sense kind of I think what it means to you and how it's important to the work that you do, but kind of what are some of the values or traits of that, and then maybe if we can see how has DBSync kind of helped along in that way, and where can we see some improvement in trying to meet some of those important partnership traits.
Sure. So, I think as we've started growing our partnership program, one of the things that we're really evaluating is how can we be a good partner both directions? And it's at the end of the day, we know that everybody wants leads back and forth. We all want
Right.
sales back and forth. That's what we all want. We're all looking to make money. We're all businesses. But how do you get there? How do you make that happen? And it's relationships, it's working together, it's talking to each other, it's what can you do together, it's how can you help your clients, it's what can you do to create a good value for your client that is you and your partner together. And I think that that's a lot of what we're looking for is
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to be a one-way street and we don't
Right.
want to work with people who are a one-way street. It's too difficult. When you're working with a company and all they want is for you to give, 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 it's very hard. And for us, because we are a warehouse and inventory, we tend to be one of the last pieces of the puzzle that people think about.
Right.
Anybody that's coming into e-commerce, and whether they're just looking to build a tech stack or they're looking to grow a tech stack, the first thing they're trying to figure out is how do I get my products out there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not us. And then
Right.
well, how do I ship my products efficiently? Well, that's also not us. How do I get my information set up? Again, not us. We're helping you manage people and items and picking in a warehouse. And everyone thinks, they can operate off that or off of that spreadsheet until they can't.
Right.
And
Right. So
and
true, we've
so
all done it.
yes, yes. And so we do tend to be late in the game for where people are picking us up. So we don't always have the opportunity to send leads back out. But what we have the opportunity to do is things like this, where we can talk to people. We love being able to do co-events, being able to help out where we can. But also we've started working more with our own internal CS teams to educate them better on what our partnerships are and how we work with our partners so that they know when to recommend somebody, and they're listening for the holes that our partners can help fill. And I actually was having a conversation yesterday with the VP of the client team, and he kept saying trusted advisor, trusted advisor, trusted advisor. And that's his big thing, is his people are their trusted advisors to our clients. And as those trusted advisors are talking to our clients, we can't develop everything they want. It's just not possible. And as you know, with everything going on in the world right now, we have a shortage of developers.
Right.
And so we have to find ways to work within what we have. And what I've always said for years is sell what you have. Sell the product you have. Well, service the product you have too, and then find the partners that can help fill in the gaps. And
right. Definitely.
Get those trusted advisors to look at, what does that stack look like? How can you improve your business by filling in a gap with a partner? And so that's what we're looking for.
I think us too. I mean, obviously we share a lot of the same philosophy, worked together for a while, but I think you're right. Even in those, it's true. We do tend to kind of focus on the products, of course, the services, but the leads, that kind of partnership. But you're right. It really is about the relationships, the people being able to connect, knowing where and when to, right? Like you said, sometimes people, or you're not thought of till the end. So people aren't thinking of those types of connections, or we often don't think end to end initially, because oftentimes we're just trying to get started or whatever.
Right.
I think you make a great point in sort of how that all works together, what to look for. Any areas where you think DBSync itself, like we said, we've tried to meet a lot of those needs, but where would you like to see some improvements might not be the word, but maybe some changes or areas to grow within partnership?
Well, I think for us, one of the things that, as I've kind of messed around and, played around on your website and gotten, reintroduced to DBSync, is there's a lot of opportunity for us, like with the financials, and with the enterprises, we see more and more of that. So, when I think about QuickBooks and I think about Salesforce and some of the different companies, Sage and things like that, we're never going to connect to them directly.
Right. Right.
In the manner, I mean, we're just not going to do those things, directly to Sage or to Salesforce or something. We need partners to rely on that, rely on partners. Our integrations tend to be to marketplaces because that's where the inventory has to go quickly. But the rest of it, it's not as much sharing the inventory as much as it is sharing data back and forth. And it doesn't have to be as fast. So that's where we really rely on the partners. And we really want to be able to say, yes, let's get this going. Yes, let's make this better. How can we work together in a more complete manner? Because as we've moved upstream as a company, I mean, again, we've been partners a really long time. And I think we've been partners since I've been with SkuVault since 2014. So I think we've been partners almost that long.
Yeah.
And, we were just beyond startup mode back then. And we've moved way upstream since then. Our average client coming in is much larger than they used to be when they come into us now. And they do have bigger needs. They have the needs of those more enterprise type solutions. And they need things that we don't have. I look at Vend, where you offer Vend, or, just different products that you have that we don't offer, that we need that help with.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we have, as you know, quite a bit to offer. As well as we're in an innovation phase.
Yes.
So always trying to keep ahead and our pulse on, the sort of what's happening as well. So I think I will, obviously provide that feedback, but I think we kind of know that, like you said, we've exchanged these ideas for a few years now. And I think as we've grown quite a bit too, and like I said, as far as partnership, one of the things that we know as far as the next big trend, or not even the next big trend, it's been trending for over a decade now, but data management. I mean, it's everything, right? With not just with the amount that we have and knowing where to find it, but also with security issues and all the things that are happening today, just having to get our fingers to stuff and knowing how to break down the data to see where we can make changes, etc. So I think, yes, we know kind of what it takes and all the different levels, but I think you're right in that always being able to keep those relationships tight so that when those needs come up, you say, hey, I know who to go to see how we can find that
Well,
out.
and
They can
I
help us
think with
develop.
what you all do with data,
Yeah.
I mean, we have a dashboard, obviously,
Sure.
but we have a dashboard for SkuVault. You're looking at the data that comes in from a lot of different places, and I mean, you're looking at a larger overview of the entire business, where we're looking at what's going on in the warehouse, and I think that's become such a big deal.
Yeah.
For larger clients and scaling clients to be able to see everything that is going on. And again, I go back to, being able to take care of really backing up your data, being able to take care of your data, making sure that you know what you have. There's so many things you guys do.
Yeah.
That
Listen, it amazes us sometimes too. And just when we think we've got it all, there's more. But I think it's just, again, it's the beauty of being able to have so much data and to splice and dice as needed and really get those insights from such a granular level. But you're right in some ways that, yeah, it's overwhelming. It's a lot. It's, it keeps us constantly on our toes. But in many ways, that's a good thing because
Right.
we know exactly where to direct our attentions. And then the more people are able to use that data, the more it helps us figure out, this is what people are really looking at. So we're not only paying attention to the market, of course, but what are our clients really doing and saying, just as you do? And that helps us to develop as well. So
Right.
I think we gain a lot from, of course, from our own work, but from our partners as well, what they're doing, what they tell us when they come to us, what they're looking for. So of course, we see a great value in it, but I'm glad to see that, over the many years, SkuVault has as well. So on that note, I think we've probably exhausted you now answering all these in-depth questions, but I feel like you've really shared quite a bit with us about SkuVault, what you do, philosophy as well, and I think quite a bit about trends and kind of what to pay attention to and kind of how daunting that is. But lastly, I think people want to know either two things. One, if you have one last pearl of wisdom to leave us with, we want to hear it. And we also want to hear moving forward, how we continue to get some of those pearls of wisdoms, either, through your website or other places we can find out more information about what you guys are doing.
Sure. So I think for me, the big thing that I like to tell people when you're in e-commerce and you're looking to scale and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, look for the best of breed. Don't try to look for all-in-one systems that can do everything for you, because no all-in-one system that I know of does everything the best. They all do a little bit. They have one thing that they're really good at, and then 5 other things that they're not very good at.
Right.
And you're really better off to build a stack that you can build yourself with best of breed, and you get a good business sense that way. So you can stack everything up and you can get your analytics from the best of breed. You can get your warehouse management from best of breed. You can look at everything that you need to and build a nice stack that gives you the top notch of everything that you need. It's been a philosophy of ours since day one. We know who we are, we know what we do, and we don't want to do everything. And we want to be the best at what we do. So that's who we are. That's what we do. And
again, invaluable insight. So where can we find out more? SkuVault.com.
Please come to SkuVault.com and ask us any questions. There's a little button you can click there. You can also email me directly anytime you want. I am Kim@SkuVault.com, so it's very easy. I am happy to answer questions and point you in the right direction to the right person.
An invaluable resource. Definitely. Well, same for us. We too, you can find out more information of kind of what we're doing on our website, www.mydbsync.com. Also LinkedIn, good old YouTube. We've got quite a few things there to
Oh,
take a look
yes.
at as well. I imagine you do as well. So
We do,
again,
yes.
all the socials, right? Just keep an
All
eye
the
out for us
socials,
there.
LinkedIn, Instagram,
Yeah. You
YouTube,
have to. If we're
Facebook,
we're
we're
going to call
everywhere.
ourselves up as of today and current, then we got to be in
Right,
all the right
yes.
places. So yes, so look for us both in our, and obviously in our current spots. And for those out looking for more information like this and meeting more of our exciting partners, please keep an eye out for more partner videos as they come out. You should be usually about once a month or so. And then until we see you next, well, we'd like to keep your apps talking. Thanks again for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.